Meteorologist Danielle Noyes here for the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network with a nor'easter update. If you watched Matt's video earlier today, he said the blizzard ingredients were on the counter if Mother Nature was ready to cook it up. Well, guess what? She's a cooking. Here are the key headlines. Major nor'easter begins Sunday evening, ends Monday evening, so it's a long duration event. Blizzard conditions are likely, numerous outages anticipated, wind and coastal concerns as well. So we're going to break down all of this. The impact of the storm is quite large. We've got blizzard warnings that are up all the way from southern Delaware, up the Jersey coastline, New York City, all of Long Island, and right here at home, all of southern Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, all of southeastern Massachusetts, the Cape, and the islands, with the exception of Nantucket, and then everyone inside of 128 up through eastern Essex County. Of course, there's a specific definition for a blizzard, right? Heavy snow, quarter-mile visibility or less, blowing and drifting with numerous gusts 35 miles per hour or greater for 3 consecutive hours in a row or more. So that is the key, and we will have that. Even outside of these blizzard warnings, I have to say it may not be consecutively 3 or more hours, but blizzard-like conditions will be felt across much of central Massachusetts through the Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire as well. Now, these blizzard warnings, by the way, will pop up right on your phone if you have it set to your exact location. Any sort of watch or warning that comes out or advisory or notification from us. So download our app. It's the one-stop shop for everything. And you get access to our 24/7 stream right on there as well. So many of you say, I want to watch you on TV through this nor'easter. You can 24/7 all the time. New England's first and only weather network. On your YouTube app, on your smart TV, just search 1 Degree Outside Network. You can find us that way, always at 1degreeoutside.live as well. All right, where is our storm right now? Well, it's just a little area of low pressure pushing through Mississippi and Alabama, sliding off along this warm front. And there's energy to the north. So these two features going to combine into a storm center that's off the Carolina coastline and tracks very close to, but likely south and east of Nantucket. And yes, we've been throwing out that term rapid intensification because that's exactly what it will do here as we head into the Monday morning and afternoon time frame. So snow spreads in, and I'll give you a closer look at the snow in just a second. Storm center passes south and east of Nantucket. The backside of the storm swings through Monday evening. Tuesday's a quiet day. The storm's up in Nova Scotia at that point. And then what's this? Yeah, another little disturbance comes in during the day on Wednesday. This is not a major one. Maybe a rain snow line involved again during the day on Wednesday. So we'll take it one storm at a time. Let's zoom in here. I want to give you a look at the map for Sunday. The morning starts dry. Now, one thing I do want to point out is with an increasing wind off the ocean, there may be a little spray of some light snow showers and flurries that come in off the ocean from time to time. I don't think it would be a big impact. That is not the main event. The steady snow comes into southwest Connecticut first by about lunchtime. Advances northward through Connecticut and up towards the Mass Turnpike by the time we get to 4 or 5 p.m. Let's put that start time in and around the city of Worcester. Same for Providence, 4 to 5 p.m. Then it does take a little bit longer to fill in completely. It really ramps up between 7 and 8 p.m. for the city of Boston, its arrival, South Shore as well, and then up to the Mass-New Hampshire border between about 9 or 10 p.m., give or take, towards Manchester, towards Rutland, Vermont. Takes a little bit longer into central New England between about 10 and 11 p.m., and then lifts north after that. Notice the deeper blues in here. The height of the storm is going to be pretty much overnight Sunday through Monday afternoon. Some of these snowfall rates are 2 to 4 inches per hour. I think the greatest chance of seeing thundersnow would be during the morning to early afternoon on Monday. Now, a little mixing may be involved for places like Chatham, Orleans, back down to Nantucket briefly. So you'll see in the accumulation map in a second, amounts are cut back just slightly on the outer Cape to Nantucket. This is a map on Monday morning, still snowing. It's snowing hard. Notice the temperatures running in the 20s in many areas. So it does start in the 30s and then cools with that high pressure to the north, feeding in that colder air. Over the course of the afternoon, it's still snowing at a moderate to heavy clip. Notice that deep blue. So right along and just north and west of that mixing, it is going to be a wet, pasty, cement-like snow for portions of the South Shore and particularly for the Upper Cape. Fluffier consistency inland. Back edge between about 7 and 9 p.m. into western and central New England, and about 8 to 10 p.m. the farther east you come. It may linger a little bit longer on the outer Cape and in eastern Maine pre-dawn on Tuesday. So this is a longer duration event overall, and it's a widespread 1 to 2 feet across much of southern New England. Perhaps a little bit less when you get into southern Vermont, but notice the 12 to 18 encompasses most of Connecticut, most of southern New England, with an 18 to 24 from the Worcester to Boston stretch, most of eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island. There's that little bit lesser amounts for Nantucket back up to the outer Cape, 8 to 12 for us. But really from P-Town stretching to mid-Cape, it's 12 to 18. And then towards the canal down near Woods Hole, that's when we're in the 18 to 24 inch zone, which encompasses much of central and eastern Massachusetts. I have this higher possible area because wherever that coastal front sets up with some enhancement off the ocean, we are going to see some higher totals. 24, 26, 28 possible, again, localized in these areas. And there may be a couple wiggles or shifts in this map that we make over the coming 24 hours, but there's very good agreement that we see 1.5 to 2 feet of snow in a good chunk of that zone. The farther north you go, it's a sharp northwest cutoff, but it's still a plowable event all the way back up into central New England. We get a little enhancement here in the White Mountains, and then when you get near the Lakes region, it bumps up from 4 to 6 to 6 to 8, and then 8 to 12. And then that extends all the way across southern Maine. There may be a little area southern tip of York County that gets 12 to 18 into that zone. Same from Hooksett to Manchester back down into most of southern New Hampshire. Amounts really tick off in the far north country with a little bit of shadowing too from the Champlain Valley into far northern New Hampshire and northern Maine, where it's little, if anything, coating to a couple of inches. Now the consistency will vary across New England. Very fluffy in northern New England, fluffy through the interior, but an average start and then fluffier towards the middle and end of the event as the colder air comes in. But it's this blue zone, particularly the deeper blues, where it's heavy, it's a wet consistency, particularly right along the coastline of the South Shore, eastern Essex County, the South Coast, the Cape and Islands. Of course, with this much snow, it's going to be tough to move around no matter where you are. But this consistency combined with the heavy snow, combined with the wind, is really going to elevate the risk for outages in that zone. Let's talk wind. The wind coming in out of the east and then northeast will ramp up during the day on Sunday afternoon. But notice we're still like 20 to 30 miles per hour. Sunday evening is when things really start to tick up. We see 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts from Boston back down to Cape Cod. The height of the wind gusts, or the peak wind gusts, I should say, come in Monday morning through early afternoon. Notice even through the interior, gusting 30 to 40. And at the coastline, 40 to 55 mile per hour gusts from Essex County into the city of Boston, Metro West included in there too. And then look at this, 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts mid to late morning on Monday. Some gusts 60 to 70 on Cape Cod, and isolated gusts higher can't be ruled out somewhere like Chatham back down to Nantucket, closest to the storm center. The wind field is really expansive with this. And then notice over the course of the afternoon, inland, including western, northern New England, we're gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, and the wind gusts will slowly throttle back in intensity, but we're still talking about blizzard conditions and damaging wind potential right on through the afternoon hours. Then after that, it really throttles back, but still gusting 30 to 40 by the time we get to late Monday evening. That wind, again, shifting around on the backside of the storm. So it's out of the northeast at first and then shifts to the north and northwest by the time we get to Monday, late afternoon through the evening hours. That, of course, is really going to churn up the seas. So during the day on Sunday into Sunday evening and night, then we're talking about 10 to 20 foot wave action. I've stopped things at high tide Monday pre-dawn. So large breaking waves. After that, through the afternoon and evening, the late afternoon high tide is even higher, 15 to 25 foot waves. Look at that. Even along the Maine coastline, we're talking about some 10 footers. So that's the peak. On the backside of the storm, the wave action will gradually come down by the time we get to Monday night and Tuesday. But look at that, still about 7 to 11 foot seas Tuesday morning. Offshore seas, a dangerous storm for our marine community, still running about 10 to 20 feet. So it's a combination of all those things, right? That increased fetch, that wind direction off the ocean, the 20 to 25 foot waves offshore, minor pockets of coastal flooding anticipated. And you just saw the map too across Southwest Connecticut and Long Island as well. But there may be some moderate pockets. So the typical spots, you know the drill, right? There'll be splashover, there'll be road closures, there'll be some debris that comes up over the seawalls, pounding surf, beach erosion likely as well for both high tide cycles on Monday. We're going to keep you posted, of course, every step of the way with this storm. And we've got a 5 p.m. live stream scheduled with Matt on Saturday for all of our members. over 1,000 of you now. We hope you can join. If you are not a member yet and you want access to it, help support our mission as well, membership.onedegreeoutside.com. You'll see what we're looking at behind the scenes. Matt's going to totally geek out. You're going to love it. Again, membership.onedegreeoutside.com for 5 p.m. live stream on Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this 1 Degree Outside video.
Get exclusive content, support the mission at membership.onedegreeoutside.com. And don't forget, free and 5 stars on the App Store and Google Play. Search the #1 Degree Outside Weather.